So earlier this morning, we showed you live visuals at the funeral of former Free State MEC for Police, Roads and Transport Butana Komphela, who will be laid to rest today in his hometown of Kroonstad in the Free State. Komphela passed away on Monday in Bloemfontein, where he had been admitted at hospital for about a month. And some of the dignitaries who spoke earlier at the funeral hailed him as a man of great integrity. Let's bring in SABC News reporter Palesa Moeti. She's live for us, been watching the funeral service. Palesa, very good afternoon to you. He was described as the people's computer. Talk to us about some of the big takeaways for you from those who spoke.
Well, indeed, it is quite an emotional farewell here at the City Hall in Kroonstad, where Butana Komphela is being laid to rest. He is the former Police, Roads and Transport MEC for the Free State here. We know that a lot of things have been said about him, about how much of a big heart he had, They say he had a golden heart and that he assisted everybody, irrespective of whether he knew you or not. They spoke about his fashion sense, also his sense of humor, but also that he had, a bit of a rough side. There was a whole, bunch of speakers that spoke today, and amongst them was his Confidante, Zola Majavu. Mr. Majavu, let's just talk about what you said, something quite interesting that really spoke volumes. You said that he died a broken man. He did a lot of great things. He was described as somebody with a very strong work ethic, with a big heart. But you knew him from childhood, basically. Maybe let's start there. How your relationship?
Look, he's a generation one up. I am Steve's generation. He was close to my uncles. They went to school together. They even got married around about the same time. So he was basically a Grootman. But through our different journeys in life, I became his comrade. I served with him during different state organs. I also became his lawyer, and I guess I became his confidante. When I said he passed away a broken man, I know what I know. And I know what was said to me in confidence. And as a lawyer, I'm a keeper of secrets. But he passed away when he was deeply in pain. The pain primarily had to do with the state of the organization. He made no bones about his love for the ANC. He made no bones about his desire for unity of the ANC cadres in the province and nationally. And because of the stuff he shared with me, I knew his pain. He carried many scars. He did a lot of sacrifices for other people. He helped many people who didn't even bother to check how he was doing. Now, during his last days, it was almost as if he prophesied that he'll go soon. And he gave an instruction to say what I said. But primarily, it was basically to say to his persecutors, his own comrades, he had forgiven them, he'd made peace, and that the unity of the organization was bigger than all of them. But I also know for a fact that his family, in particular his children, are still very angry. But he knew that I could get through to his family, and he asked me to tell them that whatever they do, they must never turn their back away from the ANC. So whatever pain, whatever reasons for that pain, as long as they understand that he served the ANC to his last moments, he wanted his family to remember that and try emulating. And that's all he instructed me to convey. But like I said, I know for a fact that there are many in this hall who he sacrificed for. And unfortunately, him and I will have to keep those and carry them to our graves.
Thank you very much, sir. Those are quite heavy words from his confidante, Mr. Zola Majavu. Now we're going to talk to Opa Khwabane, who's the spokesperson of the ANC's interim provincial committee here in the Free State. Ndade Khwabane, you mentioned that you've been in jail, you spent some time in jail with Ndade Komphela. Let's just talk about those days. What was it like?
No, it was difficult at that time because you would be arrested without any trial. So we'd spend a lot of time in detention, and you'd like have many spells of detention. So we spend a lot of time with Comrade Komphela. And the longest time that we spent with him in prison, it was during state of emergency, and we shared a cell with people like Brafizile Dabi, others, Lista Skosana, and many others. It was a difficult time, and with him, the disability that he had, he couldn't show that. He showed leadership even in prison. He would always interpret every time when we had some, problems with the prison authorities. So he has been there. He has lived through many historical period of the evolution of our struggle in the province of Free State.
Fast forward to now, how when he died, he was just an ordinary member of the ANC, I believe. After serving in numerous roles as MEC in the province as well as in the national parliament. You said that, he was still humble and disciplined despite, having been sidelined, if I can put it like that. Looking at the state of the organization right now, what do you say about, what happened to him and what the young people can learn?
The important thing that the ANC members and the young people in particular must learn is to embrace and live by the values of the Congress movement, live by the values of the principles of the Congress movement. That of humility. It's a value that is so much important in the organization that we expect all the members to show humility, especially towards people. Now, the important principle that he showed was decisions taken by higher structures are binding to lower structures and to individual members of the ANC. Therefore, we have to abide, but no matter how painful the decision can be, you abide by that and you show discipline. Political discipline is one of the important principles of the ANC. He showed that, so his exemplary life must be emulated by members of the ANC so that we can see the necessary renewal, especially in the Free State where an organization has been experiencing problems for many years. I think from the 90s. So we really need that exemplary life to be emulated by the young people and to be emulated by everyone. It cannot be that when a decision is taken against you, that you go against that decision, no matter how painful it can be, no matter how unpopular that decision can be. But because it has been taken by the structure of the organization, you have to observe that. That is part of the political discipline as members of the ANC that we must always live by and observe.
As comrades and friends, did you ever talk about what the future was, held for him? Did he ever talk about what he wanted to still achieve?
In the Congress movement, we expect that the organization must recognize the skills you have and deploy you according to the strength that you have. So it's not for you to say you want this or you want that. So he was also like that. That's why every time a deployment decision would be made for him, he would always accept that and excel in that responsibility that he has been given. So he never said he want this or that. It was for the ANC to make a decision on where to take him to.
Thank you very much. That is the spokesperson of the ANC's Interim Provincial Committee here in the Free State, Opa Khwabane, just talking about the passion that the former MEC had for the ANC and his loyalty still towards the party. The funeral will be leaving for the cemeteries shortly, but with that, it's back to you in studio.
Palesa Moeti, thank you very much indeed. So much. All right.